There are very few things in life that give me more joy than something accidentally lining up so well, like our song ending right on the countdown. Welcome to another episode of Best of Five. My name is Ilan. I'm joined here with Steve Ace King Offsuit Jurek. Steve, first of all, how are you doing? How's it going?
It's going great. I am in a fantastic mood right now.
Mm-hmm. Me
and
too.
I made that sound sarcastic. I'm not sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few times that I am actually not sarcastic when I say that.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, it's going well.
It's going well.
Hell yeah.
I'm actually. It's well enough that I can actually give it a number.
Ooh, what's the number?
8.3.
Ooh, that's pretty high up, Steve. That's high up.
That's up there.
All right, tonight on the show, we have an interview with the man, the myth, the legend, the combo breaker maker. That was good enough, I guess. We have Rick TheHadou in our very fancy green room. We gave him Perrier. He wasn't too much of an Evian fan, so we got him Perrier. He's very happy in the air conditioning. We're gonna talk about Capcom Pro Tour Finals. We're gonna talk about that dang countdown clock. I played KOF all day today, and then we're gonna talk about that last topic that you can see on the screen. But for now,
we're moving on for now because that's a ride. That is a ride.
We'll get to it when we get to it, and I hope it's very far away. But for now, let's just stop with the shenanigans. Let's stop faffing about. We have Combo Breaker here, Rick here, and we're gonna talk to him. Rick, how you doing over there?
I am doing great, minus the fact I'm coming to you from the technological marvel that is my cell phone. My router decided to die.
So first of all, my biggest question to you is, how much do you hate me? It's a two-parter, actually. How much do you hate me? And no, seriously, how much do you hate me? 24 games. I know, it seems like Combo Breaker goes bigger and bigger every time. What made you decide, okay, 24 is the number we're going to do this time?
There's 24 hours in a day. It seemed like a sound reason to stop.
Can you even name all of the games from memory?
No, because I'll conflate them with prior years. I've tried to do that twice already this week. I'm not dumb enough to try a third time.
All right. We've actually got the list.
Yeah, we do.
There you go.
If anyone hasn't seen it. You've got your standard games, your Tekkens, your Street Fighters, your King of Fighters. Skullgirls, of course, is a game whose history is quite historically entwined with the history of Combo Breaker. But then you've got some surprises on there too. Bloody Roar and TMNT Cross Justice League Turbo. What brought those two games into the fold?
So we had TMT XJL in the Look Alive program last year. It looked dope. There are community members actively making it, and it has turtles in it. So those are three pretty easy wins for me. And Bloody Roar is there because when's the last time you saw Bloody Roar on a large screen? If you ever saw Bloody Roar on a large screen?
I have not. I've seen a lot of things on big screens. Never Bloody Roar.
That was a good enough reason for me this year.
So I want to ask. So we've been on a hell of a journey since what was it? It was like March of 2020, where we've hit the hellish lows of the cancellation in 2020. We've hit some crazy, opportunistic highs in 2021, and now things just keep going up and up from here. How, trying to formulate this question in a way that makes sense. How are you dealing with the ridiculous roller coasters that has been things out of our control since March of 2 years ago?
The magical technology of the cell phone. That's about all I got going for me today.
Yeah, but is this like is having the combo breaker registrations going up this year like a cathartic moment after experiencing everything that we've experienced in the last 2 years?
It's it's relieving, which is nice. It is terrifying, which is less nice. And more importantly than both of those,
I am so sorry. What is happening? Go on.
this is a this is how my day has gone since I got up, so it actually just kind of makes sense. Uh,
I am so sorry.
more importantly than either of those things, though, it's kind of inspiring to see the response. We saw a great response last year with a couple of events. We saw a solid response for Frosties to start the year off, and knowing that the community is kind of hungry just to play games is great, but also the scale at which the initial response is coming in tells me that the community is larger than it was when we canceled in 2020. And that is the most interesting thing to me because it means we can maybe get to a point where we're doing more than we were able to do in the past. And I'm a big proponent of trying to do more all the time. So that part's cool.
Now, speaking of doing more and the response, Curly W, who is part of the Combo Breaker staff, put out a graph that just sort of blew my mind. It was the number of entrants for each year, and it peaked at 2020's pre-cancellation number, which was insane. And you look at that, basically a straight vertical line for 2022 after the first day, where it's almost beyond the entire registration period for 2020. Did you expect a response this big, this ravenous?
No. So the only saving grace I have for my not expecting a response this large is that's a year-to-date graph, not total attendance. Mm-hmm. So although it is still stupefying, it's not quite, oh wow, we sold out all of 2020's potential attendance in 32 hours, which would have actually been slightly sad in a lot of ways, because then what do I do for the next couple of months?
So I have a question. So I wanna go back to last year in Look Alive. There's something that I'm always so curious about because you do things that make a lot of sense in a world where sometimes a lot of people do things that don't make a lot of sense. So I think we know the reason, but I would love to hear it in your own words. With Look Alive, you could have just run a combo breaker online and people would have been happy because that's what we could have had at the time. But instead, the direction that you went with it is you decided to showcase most of, like, as many communities as you possibly could. And on top of that, instead of even focusing on the competitive aspect of it, you even focused on like the content, on people in the community who don't necessarily play, who do some work on the side to have everybody else have the ability to enjoy it. So why? We know the answer. I just want to hear it from your own words. Why do an entire community showcase in that aspect, including content and including figureheads and all that other stuff, instead of just doing a tournament?
I've said for many, many years that Combo Breaker doesn't run online tournaments. And I like being able to follow through on the things that I say for the most part. Beyond that, though, for the entirety of the early pandemic, there were so many people that were putting in their time and their energy to create either competitions or entertaining moments or just things that would bring the community together. And Combo Breaker wasn't. It was very busy with other stuff and honestly a little depressed that we weren't doing a live event. So it made a lot of sense to me to take Combo Breaker's reach and the brand that we've built and use that to show all these other people that were trying to keep the community together, to try to keep games alive, to try to keep rivalries and friendships moving along down the line. And that just seemed like a better use of our time and our resources than throwing another online tournament when there was already, hundreds of online tournaments around the world at any given week last year.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. And I really do have to commend you because I think Look Alive was like one of those like shining moments of 2021 for myself personally, as far as like the FGC is concerned, because, you know, not having the ability to go to tournaments or not seeing as many tournaments in person, seeing that kind of a celebration, I think, was something that everybody needed. So, was that what you were hoping to get? Like, what was like the number one goal? Was like, look alive. I want this to happen.
I actually got the response I was looking for, I think, in day 2 in the chat room, where some guy popped in and went, "This is the weirdest random select fighting game stream I've ever watched, and I can't turn it off." That's pretty much the only goal, because I know by the end of the weekend, that got the show a fan of something that they weren't when they turned in. So that's all I really wanted for it. And to be honest, Ilan, if that was the show that we've done that you really like, you probably should have gone to Combo Breaker's homepage when we relaunched this and scrolled down.
Why is that? I think I totally missed
it. You did, and I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. Well, that's sad.
Womp womp.
You've got computers in front of you. If you're that worried about it, you can open up a browser and take a look.
Time to go to the Wayback Machine.
So
no, I mean literally today.
Oh,
it's
today.
On site today.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, Steve. While you ask this question,
while he's doing that, when did you know that you wouldn't be able to run an offline event in 2021, and when did you know you would be able to in 2022? Can you kind of take us through, like, how far out those decisions have to be made?
I think we knew in late February. I think we were willing to accept it in mid-March. And then by the time late March rolled around, every state and county and national mandate possible pretty much went, yeah, you're not running an event. We don't know when you're going to run an event again. Go home.
What about 2022? When did you feel like, okay, this is something we can actually pull off and we feel comfortable enough to actually put it out into the world?
We started planning in September, just in case, which is about the latest that we've started at any time. We weren't ready to pull the trigger till after the back-to-back of CEO and Frosties went well enough that it seemed okay, that both the demand was there, that the kind of community comfort level was there. And then I sat back and went, the Super Bowl's in 2 weeks. Who am I kidding? We might as well give it a
shot. Now, sorry, Steve. Now I looked at the website and it says there's a Look Alive round 2 coming up, and it says coming soon. I appreciate that. Can I ask questions about it, or is it coming soon?
You can ask any question you want to ask.
When is it coming?
I didn't tell you I was... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to answer that one. You can
okay, fair enough.
You're a detective. You should be able to figure that out.
Yeah, well...
there are breadcrumbs all over Twitter right now, if you wanted to go look.
I'm too busy with the Countdown website. Sorry. Damn Countdown website. No, all joking aside, though, I'm excited. I can't wait to see when that's coming. And you bet your ass, as soon as this interview's over and as soon as this show's over, I'm going to start going digging. And
he will. He will. He absolutely will. He's going to come back next week with a hat, and we're going to spend 20 minutes on it. It will involve somehow Chubby Checker. I don't know how. He'll loop that in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a new venue for new in terms of person we're actually going to be there, because I remember 2020 was supposed to be here. Am I right in Schaumburg?
Yep. So it's the same venue we had booked in 2020. We booked it again this time because it's a really, really nice venue. But also, I have enough of a loyalty streak that venue helped us out of a bind in 2020 when we were panicking, trying to figure out where we were going to go when we found out Pheasant Run shut down from a newspaper article instead of our representative. So I kind of thought that goodwill needed to be paid forward. And they weren't booked Memorial Day weekend this year. So we're giving it a shot again.
I think the biggest question that everyone has in terms of attendees is, what's the spot to eat around there? What's the post 0-2 sulking spot?
So in venue, there's a public house. The food is adequate. In terms of where do you actually want to go, there are grocers within 15 minutes, so you can just go and stock for the entire weekend and eat in your hotel room. Or there is a variety of nearby actual restaurants. So there's a steakhouse and Kuma's Corner and a couple sushi joints and just actual food. In terms of what can you eat that's horrible for you and might put up a welcome gamers sign, there is a nearby Arby's.
Oh,
Which is
official
topical
sponsor
this
of
week.
yeah. Sponsor of Arby's Meaty Mix-Ups. No, is it Meaty Mix-Ups or Meaty Moments? I think it's Meaty
I don't
Moments.
care. Either one is the best sponsor CPT has ever had.
Oh.
Like, I'm sorry, Mad Cats, but damn.
Markman just has a single tear rolling down his cheek.
Yeah, it's made of Arby's sauce.
It was a good run.
Now, I have to ask, because I haven't had this experience yet, but I've seen and heard from everyone else about this experience, but I see on the website that the Popcorn Baron will be there.
Yes, you will.
What is so
You're
special?
not ready.
Like, what's so special about the Popcorn Baron? Everybody talks about him. I've never had it. Like, what's the deal?
You remember the first time you had pizza?
I don't think so, no. I'm trying to think. I
Wow,
don't
your
think
first pizza sucks. That's depressing.
Brazilian pizza is an experience, apparently. There's like mayonnaise on it.
Well, depends on where you go. Depends on where you go. But
So the answer to that question, Ilan, the actual answer is popcorn is something you've eaten a ton of over the years, so you're accustomed to what it's expected to be, and the mad science that Baron has put together is just popcorn's like things that you haven't had popcorn taste like before. Last week I had hot curry popcorn. I don't even know where I would find hot curry popcorn other than Baron's absurd number of flavors. And it tasted like hot curry and still tasted like popcorn at the same time. And it's just great and strange and unexpectedly joyful. And after you wait like 2 hours in line trying to buy it because thousands of other people want the exact same thing at the exact same time, you also have the I waited too long for this boom. And then it's impossible to really dislike it.
okay,
You're emotionally invested at that point.
You just are. It's like that line at Disney where you get to the front, you know what? Damn, Harry Potter really wasn't that cool, but this took so long.
All right, my Sunday will be dedicated to trying to get Popcorn Baron. Then, you've heard it here first. See me in line.
Warning: if you opt for the hot flavors, he's not playing around.
Okay, good. I'm a pepperhead, so I can't wait. I'm excited.
Oh, good.
Besides Popcorn Baron, what else outside of tournaments can people expect to see at Combo Breaker this year?
So we have a proper arcade this time. We've had arcade machines at Evo in the past. Sorry, at Combo Breaker in the past. We have actual arcade for the first time. So a variety of historical cabs, a variety of fighting game cabs. I'm still not bringing a DDR cab. Sorry. But most everything else we're trying to get in the space. We have more stage presentations than we've had in the past. We've had a better hotel than I think we've ever had, which is cool. We have a community tournament initiative that is stronger than anything we've tried to put together in the past. And we have more casual setups than Combo Breaker's ever had.
I'm just disappointed by the lack of DDR. I'm sorry.
Steve, would you hop on DDR though?
Hey,
I was a DDR-tiste back in the day. There was not many.
Was.
You know what?
And the problem is
the body slows down. I did it without the bar too.
That's the problem. We are all getting older. We all look at these great physical activities and when I was this and this, I was that and that. And then we go do these things and we're just smelly and sad. And I'm not trying to bring that to the event.
You know what? Give me a week to get back in the mood. Give me a week. I need to lubricate the joints and all of that.
The event's only 3 days long. If it takes you a week to get geared up, I don't know about that time investment, man.
No, I'm saying, like, tell me there's a DDR machine there or a week ahead of time. And I will, like, I'll go to the sports therapist. I will be ready.
Instead, I'm going to tell you there's no DDR machine, and then on Sunday at 10 p.m., I'm going to inform you there's one in some back room somewhere. We'll see what happens for you.
That's the mix-up.
So I do have a question.
Yes.
So I saw that, what was it? The convention center that you booked this time around. How much? I still remember very clearly, like, how big the main room of Combo Breaker at the Pheasant Run was. How much bigger is it this time around? Like, is there, like, are we expecting to see, like, convention, like, Wizard World levels of space?
It's 3x the size of Pheasant Run.
Okay. That's where my brain is going.
Just so Steve can start extrapolating pain, there is at least 10 stages planned right now, and that number could grow.
That's why I asked how much you hate me, because I saw 24 games. I saw at least 4 streams announced. Like, how thoroughly do you want to destroy my templates?
I mean, you've had 2 years to fall out of love with them, so we're just trying to, jump you back in hard. No warm up.
Yeah, at the end of this event, Steve, you're gonna have a Combo Breaker template for the future.
You already done.
I've got it. Do not break unless emergency template. This is why I got the second screen. I have 2 screens now, like that I didn't have before.
I don't know this for sure, Steve, but I think you should be planning for at least 12.
12 streams?
Good night, Canada.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The other thing I think about Combo Breaker that feels very unique to Combo Breaker, I think. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure other tournaments do this, but I haven't personally been to one that does it. Is the big auction tournaments.
Yeah.
And I can only assume, hopefully correctly, that they'll be back this year.
Oh yeah, every time. That's one of my favorite things each weekend.
Good. Are we expecting any, like, big curveballs as far as, like, crazy auction tournaments go, or is it going to be just every game we can possibly get on the screen?
So we never do every game we can possibly do, mainly because if I try to do that, I break the rest of the event. I did try that once. It was the year that we had 8, and that was already getting kind of challenging. We do have a curveball this year, though. It's just not locked in, so I'm going to wait before confirming it.
Okay, cool.
Wow, that turtle back there is so pixelated.
Is it? I think it looks good on my end.
It's whatever.
All right, I'll take it down.
It's probably just my screen.
Now, one thing I think that bothered me last time when I went to the Pheasant Run is I couldn't find an ATM. Will there be an ATM?
There is There are ATMs at this facility. Whether they maintain having adequate cash in them, I can't promise you.
That is true. There will be 6,000 people trying to withdraw cash for those for these auctions.
Yeah, I wasn't sure we were going to hit that cap. I'm a little less confident on missing it at the moment.
Now, I know we've been talking about Combo Breaker the entire time. We can't let you go without at least bringing it up, because you do have a new job since last time you were here, as the GM of EVO. Now, I know, like, there is a time and a place for the specifics about EVO, and I'm guessing this is not the time and place.
It's not. I'm sorry.
Unless...
No,
it's a good try. I appreciate you flexing the nostalgia and the friendship. It's not going to be tonight.
Damn.
It will be soon, though. And what I will tell you is that announcement's going to be a show. It's not just going to be me popping on Twitter and saying, here's a game list. So expect things that are a little bit different than they've been in the past, trying to go for a new approach without losing what has been did or important in prior years. Soon. All I'm going to give you is soon.
Okay.
Good.
And that kind of leads into the question I was going to ask. Is there sort of an ethos or a mission or a goal you have that maybe you're bringing from Combo Breaker to Evo, either in a big way or a small way?
Water?
That's
a good goal.
Water.
I mean,
I'm going to make
in
a quote
general,
graphic of
I
that.
mean, jokes aside, we have spent a lot of time at CB trying to craft an event that's about playing games. So I think if you're going to travel across the planet because you're a fan of playing games, that should be an expected activity wherever you arrive. I'm very committed to bringing that to Evo. The new ownership at Evo has been very receptive to that. So that is definitely something I think everybody can expect from Evo moving forward.
Definitely looking forward to that.
I do have one final question. I'm just curious about on the logistics side, because Combo Breaker is one of the few tournaments where the venue essentially is 24/7. You can go in there at.
I will probably.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, I'm gonna ramble on that one. Continue.
Oh no. So yeah, it's one of the few tournaments that I've been to that you can wake up at 3 a.m. in like a puddle of sweat after like having a nightmare about going 0-2, and then you can just go play it out. I feel like that's an experience that well, not the waking up in a puddle of sweat, but being able to go play whenever you want. Is something that's so special. Specifically, I think I think it was like a week or two ago that we talked about traveling, like the worth of traveling to an event, and going 0-2 in a tournament and all that other stuff, and having the ability to have a 24/7 venue. I think is something that's super important. Is that like a big challenge to put together? And I ask just because I know sometimes there are venues that get weird when you ask to have 24/7 access to a room.
If I could go back in time and not be so stubborn about a variety of things, we probably wouldn't have done a 24-hour venue. I'm not confident that I would willingly do a full 4-hour venue anywhere ever again.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, 24-hour rooms have become more common. You can find that at Frosty's. You can find that at CEO. I think that approach to the same idea is honestly better. I'm just used to CB being the whole venue is 24 hours. And since we've had now over 5 years worth of precedent on that and the 7 years worth of time we've been a brand, again, there's that loyalty streak thing I brought up earlier where this is what we do. We're going to keep doing it until it breaks. It hasn't broke yet.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And honestly, I think that's I traveled to Combo Breaker 2016, and I think that was the thing that caught me by surprise the most. Was I hadn't been to a venue where you could go 24/7 to play, and I gotta tell you, man, I met a lot of really cool people and people that I still keep in touch with to this day because of stuff like that. So
Nice.
I know I appreciate it. I'm sure I'm not the only one that appreciates it, or else you wouldn't keep doing it. So I guess what I'm saying is thanks.
Thanks for enjoying it, because that one is a headache to keep around.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, it's become an important thing now, and it sucks that it's a headache. But know that, at least from my perspective, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that shares it. It's good.
Most of the important things are headaches. That's part of why
True.
they're headaches.
Absolutely true. Well, we've gone over 5 minutes, Rick. Sorry for keeping you too long. Last thing here, if there is somebody who either cannot make it to Combo Breaker, wants to support it in another way other than attending the event, what's the best way for them to do that?
So the most direct way is we have a supporter package that's up on Smash DG this year again. That will get you access to the program guide, a special badge, a commemorative lanyard, some of the just kind of token products that the event has put together. We'll ship that out to you, and at the same time, you'll have given us some money that we can spend on the streams and the attendee experience, and I look at that as a hopeful win-win for both of us.
Awesome. And last but not least, what's what are you hoping to see at Combo Breaker this year?
The largest Bloody Roar tournament in the franchise
Hell
history.
yeah.
Somehow I think that's going to happen. Just a guess.
We have a full bracket already from traditional standards, Steve. If we were throwing this back at Games and Go in the day, this is already larger than some of those tourneys were.
I know
I'm gonna
you've
go sign
already
up.
got you've already got I think the last update was 600 for Guilty Gear. Which is
So
just
I don't talk
frightening.
about numbers before Reg is closed. You can
Okay.
continue following Curly for whatever hints she wants to give you, but yeah, there's a couple of Guilty Gear players in the bracket.
One or two.
Just you know, a handful.
I cannot wait. It feels like May is like a lifetime away, even though like a day feels like it's a lifetime away in this new era that we live in.
So we're 99 days from the event. It does not feel that far away to me.
Dang, 99 days? That's crazy. Now, when you put it in the number like under 100, now it feels closer.
Yeah, you can't even start at 100 beers on the wall. You're already skipping around.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll be skipping our way to May, and we'll see you at Combo Breaker. Rick, any last words before we part?
Play more fighting games. Play one you haven't played before this week.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Steve, are you gonna do it?
Well, I couldn't play KOF today because I wasn't feeling all that great this morning, so I'm going to.
Okay, it's a promise. Rick,
Hell yeah.
Rick, thank you so much for taking the time to be here, especially the week that you announce the registration's open. I'm sure like things must be a whirlwind, so know that we really do appreciate you giving up some time to hang out with us and share some insights into the Combo Breaker world behind the curtain.
We'll do this again, probably with working internet next time, I hope. And have a good night, y'all.
You're welcome back whenever you want. Just show up. Just show up. We'll have you.
It's like the Money in the Bank thing, just like that's Rick's music.
Technically, we have music now. CB had a custom theme this year. I can do that.
Oh man, that's right. You know what? I heard it and I was like, wait, did he just say? Did this man just say no coast, no kings? Is this like? And then I realized it was like, oh, custom music. That's cool. So hey, thanks for keeping pushing the boundaries and giving people more work, man. That's as an ex-musician, know that that's appreciated as well.
Oh, I mean, that was fun. Johnny put a great track together, and if nothing else, it's the only time in my entire life where he hit me up. He's like, hey, if I get a vocal track on here, what should we do? And I went, I don't know. Get somebody to do a DMX impression. And we got halfway there, and it's great.
Awesome. Thanks again, Rick. Much love to you. Much love to your crew. We'll see you in May. We'll be there. We'll fist bump.
See you soon.
Until then.
Yeah.
All right. That was Combo Breaker Rick. Can you believe it, Steve? I'm starstruck.
We gotta compose ourselves now.
Yeah.
We've got a long way to go between here and Memorial Day weekend. 99 days.
That's gonna be the worst. I'm gonna hate having to wait that long, especially since Steve and I, the morning of, Steve was like, hey, let's hop on a call so we can book a hotel room. And we booked the hotel. Like, we were up, like, I was there like 30 minutes early. Steve and I hopped on a call like 20 minutes before. We booked a hotel, so we'll be there. If you're gonna be there, we'll all fist bump, or we'll do like the elbow bumps as this new world allows. But Steve, I think since we still need to compose ourselves a little bit after talking to Rick, I think it's time for us to get the show back on the normal track. Are you ready, Steve?
I'm ready to do that. Do you want me to hit you with the recap?
Steve, please hit us with the recap, and I'm going to do it right this time. Here we go.
Woohoo! So, the one big event from this past weekend was the ArcRevo Japan and Korea tournament. They played down to a top 8. So that will finish in 2 weeks' time, but we know who's going to be there. On the winner's side, you're going to have Dark Necro taking on Gobo, and Tot taking on Daru Ino. On the loser's side, Infiltration will try his luck against Karinto, and Denpa will face off against Kazunoko. Winner of that tournament will get 1 million yen, so be on the lookout for that in 2 weeks' time. I did mention last week the 13-0 games that was hosted by Perfect Legend. The tournament itself ran on Saturday, however, no one opted to face off against PL on Sunday in that 1st to 13 set where he's got a 12-game advantage. So everyone shares in the prize pool of, I believe, $650, a little more than that. So nice little payday for those top 13. What to watch this weekend? We've got a couple events to keep your eye on. The Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour takes place on Saturday and Sunday. That will follow a similar format as last year, where the top players from each region are split into teams. So you'll have one Japanese player on each team, one European player, US East and US West, and they will face off regionally for points. Day 1 takes place on Saturday. Day 2 kicks off at noon on Sunday. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, you'll also have your eye on Capcom Fighters for the CPT 2021 Season Final. This is all the qualified players. You see the list of them on the ticker down below. There will be some fantastic matches. Highlighted in my eyes, Idom and Punk on Sunday night in the penultimate matchup. So some other great matchups as well. We'll go through them in just a bit. But that's what you got to look forward to this coming week.
And that was the recap. Take us out of here, graphics. Now that was smooth.
Woo! That was smooth.
We're doing it, Steve. We're learning.
That was fantastic.
Good job. Everybody give Steve a hand and spam some of those recap emotes, will you? I spent all of 5 minutes putting those together.
I got a hyper clap. I'll take that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and all you have to do is follow the show and you can spam emotes. It's crazy. Twitch is giving us things to let people do stuff. Now, Steve, we got to talk about this CPT final.
We do.
So we have the conclusion of the Capcom Pro Tour in, unfortunately, the online ring once again. However, that should not, and hopefully will not, deter from enjoyment of a conclusion of another season of the Capcom Pro Tour. And we have the added bonus of the next topic as well, but we'll get to that when we cross to it. Steve, I believe we need to put some pizzas on the line, because I feel like we've put a couple pizzas on the line with some bets. I don't remember what those bets were or who won. I haven't eaten a pizza in a hot minute.
I know I owe you a pizza.
You owe me a pizza?
I know that much.
Okay.
And I will pay up after this weekend,
okay,
regardless of what happens. Either I will pay you 2 pizzas, or we will buy each other a pizza.
Double or nothing, baby. Let's do it. Now, let's
go.
take a look at this CPT list, if you please. Graphics. Sorry, I couldn't find the right button. Here we go.
There we go.
All right, so it looks like day 1 is going to be Billy Date and Jaheim out of, is that the Republic of South Africa?
It is.
Yes, I know.
Do we want to go through our predictions as we go?
So how are these going to work? Is it these are just the finals, right? The regional finals? Each one of these is a match?
So everyone, it's not necessarily the regional final. It's the players who qualified are all in, aside from Robinho for obvious reasons.
Yep.
Replaced by Gust. And then they invited a few extra players to sort of pair up, make sure everyone has a regional pairing. So like Chuan, got invited to match up against Oswald. There are a couple others as well. So it's everyone who qualified for the finals plus a few players.
Okay. So here's how we're going to do this, Steve. Let's pick 3 matches out of the entire weekend. And whoever out of those 3 matches, whoever gets the most correct will win the pizza. Or we could do every match is a pizza, and then we'll both go bankrupt.
See, I was thinking like we go through them all, and whoever gets more gets the pizza.
Let's do it. Are you writing this down? Because I'm not.
I've got the notes right here. So
Okay.
I am taking notes.
Solid. All right, let's go straight from day one then. And chat, keep us in check in there, huh? We'll have like a chat versus hosts or something for a couple of these matches too. So maybe you guys can win some pizzas out there. How are we gonna pay for those pizzas? Hell if I know. We'll try and make it work though.
We'll do something.
Let's see. From the top left, day one, Billy Date and Jahim. Is that Jahim? Jab him. Sorry. Who do you got, Steve?
I'm rolling with Billy on this one.
Billy? Okay, I'll take Jab him. Travis Style and Panda. I'll pick first this time. I'll go with Travis.
I got Travis as well. He's been playing very well. Panda is too, but I just like Travis in this one.
Okay. Oswald and Schwan. Who you got?
I will go Oswald. He has had himself a fantastic season.
I wanted to take Oswald as well.
You can.
I'll take Oswald as well. Okay. Now, forgive me and my Western ways, but is this Ding Chun Chu? I think.
Ding Chun Q.
Q. I'm sorry. I apologize. Either way, him or her or them versus Joe Yang Ho.
You go first because I picked last.
I'll take Ding Chun Q.
As will I. Ding has had himself a fantastic year. Killed it in the Intel World Open. Won the qualifier in dominating fashion. The CPT event. So, yeah.
Cool. Next.
Ding Chun Chu.
Yeah.
According to Pretender. So I apologize for mispronouncing the name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm too Western. I apologize. And that's not an excuse. That's me actually apologizing. Let's go to the Ruskies. Papoy and Jamie. Who you got, Steve? Actually, you know what? I'll go first. I'll take Papoy.
Yeah. I am rolling with Jamie. She has been on a tear in Russia. So, Jamie is my pick there.
Last but not least, for day one, Nero the Boxer and Frozen. Who you got?
I'm going Nero.
You're going Nero? Okay, I'll take
Yes.
Frozen. Let's go, Argentina.
All right.
All right.
Let's roll it out to day two.
Takamura or Momi? Netherlands or Belgium?
I am personally pulling for Takamura.
You can't go against Takamura, right? They've been on a tear. Okay, so we'll both take Takamura. What's this? MJ Gana and Kusanagi? I'm taking Kusanagi.
I'm going Kusanagi as well. Both of those players have been very, very good. But Kusanagi, sponsored by a wrestling group, I have to go with them. Triple A. Mm-hmm. I can Spanish too. I swear.
All right, for the Dominican Republic, the Midwest native Menard. Save big money at Menard. I'm kidding. It's Menardi.
God, you really went there.
It's
really
Menardi.
went there.
It's Menardi versus Jimmy DR. Is it going to be the República Dominicana or the Dominican Republic, Steve? Jimmy or Mena?
I am going Mena. Jimmy has been very, very good, but I'm just leaning towards Mena in this situation.
Okay. Yeah, I it's hard to bet against Mena, for real. Plus, I want to save big money with Mena. Big pizza money. All right. Of course, like we said, Ronaldinho is not going to be attending. Who's his? Oh no, wait, no. Robinho is not attending. This is already replaced. Sorry, it's Ronaldinho versus Gust in the Brazilian matchup. I gotta go with the N64 meme here in Ronaldinho. Who you got, Steve?
I am actually going to go Gust.
Yeah?
Yeah. He did very, very well. I think I'm just leaning Gust on this one.
Okay. Next, the Battle of the Birds. Are you angry or are you big?
I am, I'm a big guy. I'm going Big Bird on this one.
I'm going to go Angry Bird. Angry Bird.
You can make compelling arguments for either one.
Were you about to say you could make a pelican? Because it's a bird.
No, I was not.
I thought that was funny.
I should have.
Okay, so I got Angry Bird. You got Big Bird. NL versus Infiltration. Man.
See, the thing is,
Begrudgingly-
NL... Go ahead.
I think begrudgingly I have to pick Infiltration.
NL is someone who really gets slept on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like his spotlight is not in tune with his play, the quality of his play. So I'm going NL in, I would say, a minor upset. I don't think it would be that big of an upset, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay. Down to the UK. The Four Phils versus Infectious. Gotta go with Infectious, the Evo champ.
Ace Queen watched Infectious play, like while I was watching a few weeks ago, and she's like, "Does his face move at all? He looks so excited to be there."
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to explain the lore of Infectious.jpg. I'm going Infectious.
Yeah. It's hard to bet against Infectious, man.
Phil's is fantastic. Hard to go against Infectious. Should also note that where legally allowed, the winners of these matches get $5,000 each.
That's good.
So they'll definitely be playing for something.
Hell yeah. All right. That's day 2. Last day. We're getting to the USA end of things and the Japanese end of things and the Nordic end of things. First, Reichman's Barnett. I hope I got that name right. Versus Phenom. Who you got?
I am going Rickemans in a slight upset.
I guess I'll go Phenom. Hard to bet against Phenom. The man hates the game, but he still wins. What a burden that must be. The big ol' USA. Is this this is the Midwest. The Central. There we go. That's what it is, right? Central?
Yeah.
Okay. We have Rob TV and Brian F. The battle of the content creators. Well, no, one content creator. One host. Who you got, Steve?
They're both hosts. They're both content creators. They're
True.
both fantastic. I'm going Brian F.
Man,
He's just been playing really,
I don't know.
really well.
I don't know if you follow Rob TV on Twitter, but that man has been in the gym a lot. Like his arms are getting big. It makes me worried for his fighting game ability, because if your arms are too big, you're going to have a hard time holding the controller, right? With that said, if he's got the dedication to go into the gym every day and work out and get buff and swole, unlike me, then you got the dedication to sit in the training room and practice, right? It's all about that discipline. So I think for those reasons, and on top of it, Rob TV's also been kind of on a bit of a tear this year. As he's on a bit of a tear every year. And he plays Karen, so I got to go with the fellow Karen main. unless he's playing somebody else. But I guess I'll pick Rob TV.
Robert Television. All right.
Robert Television. Next, the French. Mr. Crimson and Kills You. On 3, say who you're thinking. It's going to be mistimed on the podcast, but that's okay. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Mr.
Kills
Crimson.
You.
Wow, you picking Kills You?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take Mr. Crimson. All right. To the West Coast. Now, I don't know if you saw, but Uncle Valle was on G4 TV yesterday.
I did not.
Yeah, he was on G4 TV. I'm not sure what the extent of the interview was. I tuned in time to see him talk about Chris CCH and how he's been an up-and-comer and how he's been doing really well. And I couldn't help but agree with what he was saying. So I'm going to pick Chris CCH. Maybe that's a mistake, maybe not. But I'll pick Chris CCH.
Sorry, I just was taking a swig of water right there. Chris has been on the come up. Something just tells me nephew.
It's hard to bet against nephew. And I'm having a hard
really
time
is.
betting against the nephew, but I'm going to do it. Oh, by the way, actually, before we go any further, while we were in the interview with Rick, we had a couple people subscribe and follow. First of all, thank you, everybody, for following, for subscribing. But we can't go without thanking this person, the patron saint of Best of 5, the Die by Sword. He's been here for 52 months, which is 3 months more than you, Steve.
I can't hog all the glory.
Thank you, Die by Sword. We appreciate you. We're happy you're here. We're happy all of you are here. We see Pretender, Leader Dragon. I saw a couple other people too. Blue. Thank you guys for being here. Anyway, we have a couple more matches before we finish this up. Higuchi and Mago. Who you got?
My head says Mago. My heart says Higuchi. I'm going heart. I'm letting my DP rip. I'm all heart. I'm going Higuchi.
I'm going to go Mago. I'm a fan of Mago. Let's go Mago. Next, this match has caused a lot of problems.
You're talking about the NLBC Derby.
The NLBC Derby. The Capcom 5v5 they were having today broke because of this match. There was a lot of drama during the CPT season last year because of this match. It's the East Coast Beast Coast Slugfest fight. I lost my train of thought halfway through there. Punk and Item. Steve, I'm going to go Item.
I am going Idom as well.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's tough to pick against Punk. It's really tough, but it's Idom. It's tough to pick against Idom. But Idom's been on the top of this match for the last couple of times they've played. Man, it's tough. I gotta go with Idom. Everybody's going with Idom, but I feel like in the bottom of all of our hearts, nobody really wants to pick one.
like it's two heavyweight titans.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make an argument for Punk, you can make an argument for Idom. They're both fantastic players. As are the last two players in your final match, Kawano and Daigo. Who you got?
I feel like this is Batman Daigo. He's known about this matchup for a while, right?
They've known for a couple weeks.
I feel like this Batman's been in the Batcave training up the Batmobile with the Batarangs and the Batcomputer.
I feel like Kawano could take him. And if it were in any other slot on this event, I might actually pick Kawano. But in the final match of the set, when you've got the possibility of some sort of big announcement coming afterwards, I feel it comes down to plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he can find a way through the plot armor. I am going Daigo.
Yeah. Also, Blue's saying, wait, train the back computer? Yeah, it's machine learning. Got to train it up. All right, those are our predictions. We're going to have to tally those up and see how it goes after this weekend. But next week, there will be hell to pay when it comes to pizza. And it's double or nothing for us, Steve. And then we'll figure out, we'll find a way to get some people paid out for some pizzas in the chat.
You know what? I will run a prediction contest on our Discord.
Ooh, we'll have some pick'ems?
For Sunday. It'll have to be for Sunday only because I'll need some time to set it up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you aren't in our Discord, join our Discord. I'll put the link in the chat in just a bit. I will also tweet this out as well. There is the Discord link.
Mm-hmm.
So
official.
I will, I'll put that in the general channel. I'll set up a link, and we will run that contest. So as long as you get your entries in by Sunday, you will get in there, and I'll whoever has the most correct will win a pizza. If there's a tie, we'll do a random draw on the show out of all the people who are tied for first.
Mm-hmm. Or we'll have you share the pizza. We'll send half a pizza to one person, half a pizza to the other.
Does that mean I have to make it and then cut it and then ship it off to 2 different spots?
No, we can just get them calzones. Calzones are just half pizzas anyway.
Well, you just made a whole bunch of people angry.
Am I wrong? Prove me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Anyway.
A calzone is just a pizza folded in half. All right. Those are our CPT final predictions. Now, Steve, last week, and by last week I mean this week, a mysterious clock has shown up in... Sorry. Mysterious clock has shown up in the Capcom website. A lot of people are saying a lot of things. There's a lot of guesses flying around. It's crazy. But it's hard to not feel ominous as far with this countdown that's on there. A lot of people are speculating Resident Evil. A lot of people are speculating some other type of game. But we know the truth, Steve. This countdown ends quite literally, I think, 3 days from right now, this very moment.
It is 3 days and 2 hours as of right now. So that is approximately midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. I threw the link in chat. I think you can pull it up for us as well.
I sure can as soon as I do this thing over here, which is taking a little while for me to do. There we are. All right. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Shall we take a look at this, Steve?
Yes, let's not hold the people in suspense.
There it is. That's the countdown. Now, there's a couple of things. Now, I promised you guys a sleuthing segment, and here it is. Right. First, I kid you not, when I inspected the elements of this website, I looked into the code to see if there was anything that we can find in here that would be of interest. And it's very easy to do. For those of you that don't know, you can just right-click and then click Inspect, and then it'll give you all of the coding stuff that you can look into here. Now, you can mess around with the HTML to see if you can get a couple of things, but this is airtight because they put this jerk on a wrapper, as you can see right here. So we can't see anything behind there. We can't set anything that's set to false to true. We got nothing, but we can still glean a couple of things. First, notice how this is moving. You see it's moving. right? You see the lights getting brighter, and now the light's getting darker. Whenever you refresh this guy, you get a little bit of an animation. And then the countdown clock going to 3 hours and 2 minutes. There's a couple of things here, which are the breadcrumbs. And you all know I like me some breadcrumbs. Put that stuff in the oven with a little bit of butter. Make some croutons. I'm kidding. The breadcrumbs are finer than croutons. But let's take a look. First of all, if you stop this animation, you can right-click and save image as, and this is a sequence, right? So every little change is a different frame, different PNG or a different JPEG. I went ahead and timed this out so that I could stop in this frame. What does that look like to you, Steve?
A square and a circle.
Okay. Now, squint your eyes a little bit. When you squint your eyes, what do you see?
A squinted square and a circle.
Good. Now, you know, in design, shapes are representations for things that exist in the real world. Right? What does a rectangle next to a circle usually signify? Do you have any clues? Do you have any ideas?
A light switch and a heating element from an oven.
Okay, Steve, I'm gonna give you the clue, or I'm gonna give you the answer here, because clearly you're not as savvy of a sleuther as I am. This is a 10, Steve. That is a 1 and a 0. That is a 1 and a 0. And it pops up every time, no matter what time the countdown is at. It is always there every time you refresh this gosh darn page. Right there. Now, Steve, that's a hint. That's a breadcrumb. Let's take it to Twitter. We have Twitter. Here is Capcom USA. Let's take a gander at this Twitter, shall we? They pinned the tweet. They tweeted this out on February 14th. Now, Steve, if we scroll down to their latest tweet, which is a retweet from Street Fighter, we can see Luke. Luke was the final character of Street Fighter V. Right? Look at the logo, the Street Fighter V logo. Look at Luke's chest tattoo. Season 5, everything lines up with a V. Steve, do you know what else is a perfect V?
The Roman numeral 5.
Yes, but do you know what else has V in its logo?
Street Fighter 5.
Think bigger.
Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition.
That's right, Steve. The Game Awards tweeted out this picture of Street Fighter V. Their logo is a gigantic V. And on February 16th, they said, 6 years ago today, Street Fighter V was released. Which one's your favorite Street Fighter to date? And it's a Street Fighter V. This is a connection, Steve. So, let's put all of the breadcrumbs we found together. The 10 from the countdown page. The V from the Game Awards. What did they tweet out on February 10th, Steve?
What did they tweet out on February 10th?
Mario Kart 64.
Oh, boy.
Do you know what this means, Steve?
No, I do not.
Look, they tweet out more than one thing every day, except for February 10th. This is the only tweet. This can only mean we're going to get Street Fighter karting in the announcement in 3 days and 2 hours, Steve.
Street Fighter karting.
Street Fighter Kart. It's going to be a racing game with Ryu, Chun-Li, Bison, the works.
Really?
Yes.
That's where the breadcrumbs lead us.
That is one place, Steve. Now the breadcrumbs can lead. Look, these people are savvy. Maybe the V in the Game Awards is a complete ruse, Steve. In that case, let's go back to the Capcom USA Twitter. What did they tweet out? on February 10th, I ask you?
I'm more concerned about what they tweeted out about Arby's.
Street Fighter V character stats for January 22. This was on September 10th. However, if we glean closer, they posted a picture of every Street Fighter character in the game, Steve. So from the top, we're going to count from the left, starting with Dan. Dan 1, Rose 2, Oro 3, Akira 4, Luke 5, Kage 6, Poison 7, E Honda 8, Lucia 9, Gil 10. Illuminati confirmed. This can only mean that the announcement that is coming. Sorry for the audio there. The announcement that is coming in 3 hours, or 3 days and 2 hours, is going to be the next Street Fighter game in which Gil is going to be the main character.
Unless it's Street Fighter cards.
Unless it's Street Fighter or Street Fighter karting. What? I mean, let's be fair. Street Fighter karting, it could also be Gil as the main antagonist.
All right, so it could be that. There is the possibility of Street Fighter 6 or some other mainline fighting game project because it is scheduled to. Oh boy!
I gave you all of the proof.
Reality is whatever I believe it to be. So it does look like it's scheduled to end right as CPT's season final ends on Sunday. However, some Resident Evil fans have pointed out that, well, the reveal is going to take place on President's Day. There's news out there that there is supposed to be some Resident Evil news coming in early 2022. And the fact that this hasn't been retweeted by Capcom Fighters or Street Fighter accounts as of yet lead people to think that maybe it is a Resident Evil announcement. I don't think that's the case because I don't think you necessarily want to make that announcement at 11, 12 o'clock at night on a Sunday evening.
Why not?
Because no one's going to be
That's
awake
daytime
to
in
talk
Japan.
about it. It's daytime in Japan, but you're making the announcement primarily through an English-speaking site, and a lot of the English-speaking media is going to be shut down for the day, at least the gaming media. The only reason that makes sense is if you have a captive audience, and Capcom's going to have that with Street Fighter fans on Sunday. So I don't think it's going to be anything other than a Street Fighter project. Now, whether it's going to be Street Fighter 6 or something else remains to be seen. There's the other left field theory that maybe it's Street Fighter Cross Tekken related because that game, Steam, the assets on there just got updated recently for some sort of change.
Yep. So what happened there is on Steam, there is SteamDB, which is the Steam database where you can look at all of the background information on files on games that are up. And for updates to get pushed out to Steam, they have to go through an approval process. And recently, there's been 2 sets of files that have been approved, which coincide with the date that this was tweeted out, which was on February 14th. And both files affect the main game. So it's not just like a DLC, it's not just an add-on, it's affecting the entire game itself. It's affecting the main Big Kahuna file. So, are they bringing back Street Fighter Cross Tekken? Because right now, from what I understand, it's unplayable without a mod, because it's still trying to run off of Games for Windows Live.
So I think that's more of a coincidence. I do think it's going to be Street Fighter 6 or something along those lines. Because, we are at the end of Street Fighter 5 development. There's been those leaks that have suggested that Capcom is working on Street Fighter 6. Mm-hmm. I think all of the signs are pointing to that, despite the crumbs, the karting crumbs that you have discovered.
Look, like I said earlier during the countdown, I don't necessarily believe all of the conclusions. I just follow the breadcrumbs. However, I will say this. I think it can honestly mean one of two things. And if we're taking into account the coincidence of the Street Fighter Cross Tekken update on Steam the same day that the site went live, there's a part of me that thinks we're gonna have another year of Street Fighter V for CPT 2022, right? Because it starts in March. It's like a month away. If it's starting, right? We don't know. There's a part of me that thinks that they're gonna announce a netcode change for Capcom games, for Street Fighter V, for Cross Tekken, maybe Street Fighter 4 as well.
I think that's ambitious. I think we might see what we saw out of Arc System Works, where they update netcode for older games to sort of test the waters. And we do know that Capcom has a history of gauging interest in future projects through sales of re-releases and separate projects in that series. Mega Man fans are very painfully aware of that.
Rip Legends 3.
So I don't necessarily... I think there's something to that. I don't think it's necessarily going to be Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 and Cross Tekken. I do think you'll see one of them at least get a netcode update.
Also, worthy of note, the Cap Jam Twitter retweeted out that the Capcom official countdown website with a bunch of looking eyes. And as we know, the Cap Jams are the people that have been writing the songs for Street Fighter V for these later seasons. So maybe that's a little hint. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Anyway, Street Fighter Kart will be here sooner than we realize. And it's going to take over the world. You remember Mortal Kombat Armageddon? They had the Mortal Kart. That was fun. I appreciated that. Anyway, that's what's coming to Street Fighter V. Anywho, with all that said, come to your own conclusions. And we'll all see in 3 days and 2 hours. That is the update on the Doomsday Clock.
Speaking of netcode updates, we did get a little bit of a surprise today from Arc System Works. They announced that the Steam and PS4 versions of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle are going to get rollback netcode. And this has been something that BBTAG players have been asking for a very, very long time. So the fact that it's coming through for them, you gotta be happy. You gotta be thrilled for them.
And there's a big old test happening just in 6 days.
It's that close. So on the 23rd, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, there will be a public rollback netcode test on Steam. So if you have the Steam version of the game, you can get your hands on it. Try the new netcode. It will be April when it drops for PS4 and for Steam officially. So the full version with rollback. So.
For sure. And this is, of course, the fact that BBTAG is getting rollback is not news, because they did announce that a while ago. However, The only game that had gotten the rollback so far was Central Fiction, if I'm not mistaken. So finally, Cross Tag Battle has its day in the net code sun with some rollback. They're kicking back on the rollback. Yeah. Cool. Steve, something else happened today even. Starting at midnight Pacific, which sucks. Midnight Pacific sucks. Here's why. King of Fighters today is officially released. And for those of us that don't have a PlayStation 4 plugged in and bought the Steam version, we've been hankering, Steve. We couldn't play the game because it was on early access. So I was up yesterday until midnight Central waiting to play, and then I saw that the game released in midnight Pacific, which is 2 hours away. And 2 a.m. is just too late for me, Steve. I'm too old. So I woke up this morning, got myself a Mama told me that I'd be the chosen one.
That was a lyric. That was a lyric. That was a reference. That was not an actual action.
She said, "You're looking good, baby. I believe you're feeling fine. Shame about it. Born under a bad sign with a blue moon in your eye." And then I played some King of Fighters.
Say that last phrase again, because I feel like I actually have to edit that out of the YouTube version.
What did I say?
Got yourself a...
Oh.
I think I actually have to edit that out of YouTube. So,
okay.
What did you do today, Ilan?
I played King of Fighters.
Yes.
That song came back for a Super Bowl ad? Dang. I just remember I remember in the Many Saints of Newark trailer, like when that song kicked on at the very end, I was like, dang, I guess I gotta watch this movie now. I still haven't watched it though. But anyway, we're not talking about Many Saints of Newark, we're talking about King of Fighters 15. I finally got to play King of Fighters 15, and I gotta tell you, Steve, I played it all day. I played it from about 8:30 Central till about 6 when I had to start setting up for the podcast. And I'll be honest, I haven't played a fighting game for that long in quite a while. And what I played in it, I think, was even more interesting. I played no online matches. Usually with fighting games, I go on training mode for like an hour to figure out some stuff, and then I go straight to online. But with this, I kind of just played trials and went to training mode, trying to figure the game out. I did the tutorial mode. And the fact that I spent so much time playing the trials and playing in training mode, trying to figure stuff out, is a good way of gauging that I think I was having a good time. The trials in the game are super fun. I was having a grand old time trying to figure those out. I have now a little callus on my ring finger from it rubbing up on my stick from doing so many gosh dang quarter circle forward, half circle backwards motions. Steve, get your mind out of the gutter, you dingus.
I didn't say anything.
You said it with your face. For those of you that are listening to the podcast, Steve got this look in his eye.
I don't think you have to say that out loud. I think they could probably figure that out from your phrasing.
All right. But yeah, I had a blast playing trials, trying to figure those out. What? I'm trying to talk about King of Fighters 15. What are you doing?
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Steve, this is a family show, damn it.
Proceed. God.
Is this the KOF Classic? Anyway. I then picked 2 people for my team. I've not yet decided my entire team, but I think I've picked 2. First one is Chizuru. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Anyway, she's got cool dash cancels and fake outs and other shenanigans that have been really fun. I tried out Isla. Right, she's the new character. What's his name? The Shun antagonist. She's got some cool, funky air mobility shenanigans. She spray paints people. She has like a spray paint can. She tags them up. It's pretty funny. As a joke, I saw a guy named Razor, and I was like, oh, like Razor Ramon? Cool. And he's a grappler, and he's hilarious. He's got like some pretty cool OTG stuff. And I liked him a lot. I'm still trying out a couple people, but the fact that I have yet to go online to play another human being, and I've spent the entire day playing the game, is something worthy of note. Of either I'm taking too long to learn these characters, or I'm actually enjoying just training out and grinding stuff up, which isn't usually my MO in fighting games. So it's a different change of pace for me, Steve.
So I would say that it's pretty safe to say you're enjoying the game thus far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had my day clear. I got most of my prep work for the show done. And then I just felt like crap this morning. Like, I ended up sleeping for, I think, 11 hours. Which slightly carved into my time to play the game. And by slightly carve into, I mean completely eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to spend some time on it this weekend. There were a couple characters that really caught my attention during the beta. I really want to get a chance to dive in there and see what I can do. I know that the combo trials are a bit easier this time around compared to some of the previous games. So a lot of YouTubers are upset, including that one person who was the feature of the option select article. Did you read that?
I missed it.
Oh my god!
I guess I need to follow option select, because every once in a while it'll pop up, but I never catch it consistently.
You do. Option select is so good. Like the character that they created for it, they said, as everyone knows, King of Fighters is all about combo trials. Said so and so, whose only previous experience with KOF was King of Fighters 13.
Okay, I think I have seen
it. That was such a good article.
It is a good article.
Option select don't miss. Option select does not miss.
Well, here's the thing too. The combo trials are simpler than the KOF 13 trials. Are they simpler than the KOF 14 trials? I don't think they are. I remember playing KOF 14 trials. I don't remember having too difficult of a time. There is one thing that bothers me, in that there is the mash one button to do the combo thing, like the rush combo. That kind of bothers me a little bit, just because it got in my way a couple of times when I was doing training mode stuff. But there is some tricky stuff, man. There is some execution, and it's a lot more execution than is needed for a lot of other games that are out right now, including Street Fighter V and Guilty Gear and a bunch of others. So, is it like King of Fighters execution? Probably not. But it's execution. And I gotta tell you, I haven't felt that in a hot minute. Sorry, I almost dropped something. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing more King of Fighters tomorrow when I can, when I'm not working. So, good on you, King of Fighters. It shattered my expectations.
I see what you did there.
Yep. Steve?
Dude, I don't know if I want to go with this seg, but I'm going to do it. Speaking of shattered expectations. Oh, man, we got to do it. We got to have this conversation. We got to.
Okay.
Oh, man. So, this has not been a great week for Tanukana, who is a Japanese Tekken player. She's been a very strong player, has come over to the U.S. a few times, had some success here, gotten strong results on the Tekken World Tour and other events. She was on stream a couple of days ago, and during the stream she had she had some food delivered, and apparently the delivery person either wanted to give her his number or ask for her number. I'm not 100% sure. But when she came back afterwards, she went on a bit of a rant about not being interested in shorter men, specifically those under 170 centimeters, which works to about 5'7" for those who use Imperial. During that rant, she said something along the lines of, uh, if you are under 170 centimeters, you do not get human rights, and suggested that they look into bone extending surgery. This did not go over well. It went viral through Japanese media, and it seemed to hit a nerve to the point where her sponsor, uh, Cyclops, actually came out and made a statement that said they were looking into it. They are going to respond in the harshest of terms. And that response came in the form of releasing her from her contract with the company. They said, quote, to all the fans who, oh, sorry, that's Tanukana's quote. Cyclops said, quote, we would like to express our deepest apologies to all our fans, sponsors, and other related parties for the inconvenience and worry caused by the inappropriate comments made by Tanukana, a member of the Cyclops Athlete Gaming. We would like to express our deepest apologies for any inconvenience and concern caused to our fans, sponsors, and other related parties. As of February 17th, 2022, the company will terminate the player's contract with Tanukana. Her inappropriate comments and stance during the stream, on February 15th are unacceptable to us, and we have decided to terminate her contract. We recognize that any discriminatory or insulting behavior, words, or actions, or comments made on social networking sites are unacceptable, and we value diversity for all people. We will strengthen our management system, including education and guidance for our players, and thoroughly prevent any reoccurrence. End quote. Tanukana did issue an apology on Twitter herself. She also removed both tags from her name, both the Cyclops, the CAG tag, as well as the RB tag for Red Bull. Red Bull has not come out with a statement, but they have removed her from the website. So her profile is no longer there, so it's safe to assume that she is no longer with that team. Obviously, I don't think anyone thinks that she legitimately believes that they don't deserve human rights, and there's sort of a within certain game communities, not having human rights or losing human rights is sort of a term there that means you don't have a chance, you don't get to do anything. It's not in all communities. The extent to which it exists varies. But she also said on the same stream that women who have A-cup breasts do not get human rights, and those who have B-cups barely qualify, depending on the person. People have gone back and found other questionable statements she made on various streams and on Twitter, including alleged comments about LGBT, about black people, about women over 30. I have not independently verified this. There's a list of things going out, but I myself have not seen them, so I can't verify. But there's a question of how much of this was said in character. You know, she has sort of this personality persona, I guess is the better term, of saying edgy stuff like this. is the response that she got appropriate? Let's start there. I know we're going over, but yeah, this is. Ugh. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I have nothing to add. I'm over 5'7", so nothing she said affects me at all. But yeah. I just wish that the actions that have been taken by the companies that dropped her would also be actions that some other companies would take with some other less than savory peeps in the FGC. But
And I think that's been a very big part of the conversation, and obviously not something we can get into too deep because we are going a little over as is. But I think in a vacuum the response is appropriate. If whether or not you think like it's okay to joke about those sorts of things, or whether or not whatever your opinion is on dating preferences or what have you, I think there's a difference when you are a sponsored player because you're not just representing yourself, you are also representing these other companies. So now CAG is getting roped into this. Red Bull is getting roped into this. If you are a player who, and part of your responsibility as someone who is sponsored is to represent the brand, then you have to represent the brand. And that's kind of what you signed up for.
and how much do you want to bet that the stream that she was on had the branding of the teams that she was on it? Right, that's like a big worry.
And I'm going through Red Bull tweets and I'm seeing like just not even Red Bull Gaming or Red Bull Esports, but people are talking about this in response to Red Bull tweeting about the half pipe, the snowboarding half pipe. It affects them. So of course they're going to take harsh action. There's the question of if, and here's where it gets a little sketchy. If it had been someone else who had made these statements, would the maybe not necessarily the response from the companies, because I do think that they would be the same, but would the response from people on social media been as vitriolic?
Absolutely not.
If it were a guy who said that women over you know over 5 or over 170 centimeters don't deserve human rights, would we see? I think we would see vitriol. I don't necessarily think it would be the vitriol from the same people, but I just hope that if this is the standard, that this is the standard. Like if we expect people to carry themselves in a certain way, that we expect everyone to carry themselves the certain way. Yeah, it's just it's just sort of out of left field because you don't you just see this like she said what, like okay, there's got to be more than this, and then you find out like she said what, and it just comes out of left field because like I know for some people their first exposure to the story was me tweeting it out, and and just hearing about the not having human rights thing, and it just sounds so out of left field. It's just not something you expect to see, in all honesty. Well, yeah,
things are happening because of it. Consequences and all that. Let's just hope that these same consequences happen for other people who decide to, I think at the end of the day, I think personally, what I want is just consistency, right? Because I feel like there have been more, or there has been other people who have gotten away with way worse things and are still doing what they do. So I think my hope is, and at the end of the day, each company is their own company. They can do whatever the hell they want, right? Their ball, they can take it and go home. They can drop, pick up whoever they want. But at the end of the day, I think I just want some consistency so that things are fair and just. I think that's my big worry with this whole shenanigans.
So, yeah. What a way to end the show, huh?
Mm-hmm. Steve, we went over by about like 12 minutes so far.
Yeah, I think we need to cut it out.
Yeah. But first, let me say once again, for those of you that were here earlier, thank you to Rick for taking some time off of his hectic and probably super busy schedule, especially this week, to come shoot the stuff with us. Come hang out with us and talk. See, I'm getting better. Hang out with us, talk, give us a little insight into what the like a little peek behind the curtain of what goes into like making something like Combo Breaker, and especially with all the ups and downs we've had these past couple of years. So big thank you to Rick. Big fan. Glad to have him. That countdown clock, where is it at? Still 3 days and 2 hours. I'm going to keep checking it obsessively. It's going to change. Once it gets down to like an hour, it's going to change. Mark my words. We talked about the countdown clock. I'm going to play more King of Fighters. I'm going to go watch The Sopranos tonight because now it's stuck in my head. And we got pizza bets coming this weekend. So next week should be a hell of a show. We're going to settle these pizza bets. We're going to figure out what was on this dang countdown clock. How disappointed will you be if it is a Resident Evil announcement and not Street Fighter 6?
I would be. I think there will be some reaction. The thing is, there's going to be reactions on the internet no matter what, because everyone wants it to be their favorite thing. And if it's not their favorite thing, it's done. The Resident Evil scene will melt down if it's Street Fighter.
Monster Hunter is going to get pissed when they see Street Fighter 6.
Monster Hunter, they're eating good.
Yeah, they are.
They're eating good. They can spread the wealth. They are the 1%.
Yeah, you bet your ass the Resident Evil community is going to be like, Street Fighter 6, who plays Street Fighter? Nobody plays Street Fighter. Where's Resident Evil? Where's the big lady? But yeah.
Now, we did...
Go ahead, sorry.
We did get asked to end on a joke, so that we punch out on a high note. So I've got one for you.
Okay. You tell yours, I'll tell mine.
You tell yours first.
No, you tell yours first.
No, you tell yours first.
No, you tell yours first.
Mine doesn't work if you don't tell it yours first.
Well, mine doesn't work if you don't tell yours first.
What did the United States say to its hat?
To who?
Its hat.
Oh, what'd they say?
Good night, Canada.